What's going on, guys? In this training, we'll be learning about trends. So we're going to go over how to identify an uptrend. Uptrends are made out of higher highs and higher lows. Okay. So the reason why these are called higher highs and higher lows is because these new formed higher highs and higher low points are higher than the previous high and are higher than the previous low. Okay, we're going to look at it on the whiteboard first, and then we're going to move on to the charts and see how it looks like live. Okay, but uptrends are made of sequences of higher highs and higher lows. Okay, and now to identify a downtrend, downtrends are made of sequences of lower highs and lower lows. Okay, lower highs and lower lows. Okay, just like the uptrend, these are labeled lower highs and lower lows simply because this lower high point is lower than the previous high point, right? This low point is lower than the previous low point, okay? High, lower high. Okay, so this is very important to know and very important to remember because you only want to be buying on an uptrend and you only want to be buying, you only want to be buying on an uptrend. I'm gonna pause so you can edit that. This is very important because you only want to be buying on an uptrend, okay? You only want to buy when you see this sequence of events, higher highs and higher lows being formed, okay? And you only want to sell on downtrends when you're seeing lower lows and lower highs form. Okay, so you should not be buying during a downtrend. If you see lower lows, if you're marking up lower lows and lower highs, you should not be looking to buy. You should only be looking for sell setups. Okay, so now that you know what it looks like on a whiteboard, let's move on to the charts. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like live. Okay. Okay, so for right here, we clearly have a downtrend, right? We see that we're making lower lows and lower highs, right? We see this is our lower high, clearly because this was our previous high point and market made a lower high. Okay, the new high point that the market made is lower than the previous high. Okay, so it's labeled as lower high. You see right here, we have our lower low. Okay, so we can clearly see that we were on a downtrend. Okay, now let's look at what it looks like when we transfer into an uptrend. Okay, perfect. Right here, we had a lower high right here. We had a lower low, right? We're looking to be on an uptrend. But as you see, we see right here at the bottom, the market failed to make a new lower low point. Okay, it failed to make a new lower low. This is the same lower low right here. Okay, these two are the same lower low. Okay, market failed to make a new lower low. That's what we need for the downtrend to continue. Okay, now we're seeing, as we speak, the market's made a higher high, right? It's higher than this previous high. Boom. All right, so now the market has made one higher high point. Okay, this is labeled a higher high because it's higher than the previous high, as we see, and we have a lower high. And we have a higher low. It's labeled a higher low because even though it's slightly above our lower low, ever so slightly, it's still a lower high, it's still slightly above. Okay. So as the trade continues, we're seeing the trade is making higher highs, right? Our higher high point It's just broken. So we can clearly tell that we're on an uptrend. So in this situation, we'd be looking for a buying opportunity. Okay, trade comes down, made a higher low, right? Okay, the trade created a new higher high. Okay, so clearly we're on a uptrend. Okay, so you should be trying to buy in this situation, trying to look for buy setups. Okay, so you should not be selling when the market's looking like this. Right, we're making higher highs and higher lows. So at no point in time, if you're making high highs and high lows, you should not be looking to sell. Okay, at all. Okay, so that's how you spot an uptrend. Okay, now let's look at downtrends. Let me just find one real quick for you. Okay, so we're gonna start up here. Right, so as we clearly see, we were on an uptrend, right? The trade was making higher highs and higher lows previously, right? You see price increasing. Right now, let's look at what it would look like when we start a downtrend. Okay, so we see, right, the trade has struggling to push past to the higher high, struggling to push past this higher high, struggling to make a new higher high to obtain this uptrend. And we're seeing it's a little struggle to break the lower high as well. Okay, so now you're in a box, right? So you wait until you see clear high highs and higher lows to identify a trend. Like right now, it's in a box, right? We wouldn't want to trade this until we've seen higher highs or higher lows. Okay, so we're starting to see a little bit of something. We have lower high, right? We're seeing the market is failing to create a new higher high, right? We see that we made a lower high. So that's the first start of a downturn, right? When you're starting to make lower highs. So now we need a lower low, right? So we need this point to be broken so we can form a new lower low. So boom, this point broken, perfect. Right? Market made a lower low. Boom. Market made a lower high. So now we're on a downtrend. I thought the low high was up here, my fault. Okay. So even if you did label this right down here, a lower high, right? So say you did. Okay, you're not wrong. You're not entirely wrong. It's just you don't consider them a lower high until the lower low is broken. Okay. So until this lower low is broken. So like right now. So right now we can label this a higher low. Okay. Because this could have continued, right? There's no telling, the market doesn't follow your rules or anything like that. The market follows its own rules. This could have continued and gone in an uptrend, right? It could have. You were making higher lows and higher highs for a split second there. Okay, so if it does not pass, right, in order for the trends to possibly flip, the lower high has to be broken. Okay, let me delete these lines so nobody gets confused. Okay, so in order for this to possibly even flip trends, the lower high must be broken. Okay, so you're still thinking downtrend, even when you see this little higher high, higher low being formed right here. Even when you see this, it's still a downtrend until the lower high is broken and retested. Okay, so until the previous lower high is broken and retested, it's still downtrend. Okay, the bears still hold control of the market. Okay, now let's continue with this downtrend. We're saying we made a new lower low. Okay, we see we made a new lower low. Now we're waiting for the lower low to be breached so we can label, okay, our lower high. Boom, a lower high formed. Now we have a new lower low. Okay, and that's how you identify a downtrend. Okay, so you should only be selling. Okay, I'm gonna type this in. Only sell. Matter of fact, all caps. Only sell when you are on a downtrend. Okay, so when you're making lower lows and lower highs. Okay, and you should only buy when you are on an uptrend. Okay, so that's when you're making higher highs and higher lows. Okay, so you should not be selling on an uptrend. It doesn't make any sense. You're not gonna get the money you want, the pips that you want. You're not gonna get them trying to sell on an uptrend. Okay, the money that you, right, the bag, right? We all want a big ad. We all want a bag, right? The bag that we get is from trends. Okay, trend is your friend. Trading with the uptrend, buying on an uptrend is gonna get you more money than trying to sell on an uptrend, right? But and vice versa. You want to sell on a downtrend. Also, when looking for trends, right? So that's the first thing you should do when you open your charts is try to find a trend so that you know whether you're bullish or bearish on a currency pair. Okay, so when finding trend, look on a higher time frame. Okay, so this goes from the day time frame, the week, and the month. Okay, so you want to look at your trends at these time frames. Okay, you can look for the setup on the lower time frames, but the trend is always looked at on a higher time frame. So a quick recap of this lesson. You should only be buying when you are on an uptrend, when the trade is creating higher highs and higher lows. You should only be selling when you're on a downtrend, when the trade is making lower lows and lower highs. And lastly, we fix this. Okay, and lastly, to find trends, look on higher time frames, okay, day, week, and month. All right, and that's going to conclude for today's training. We'll see you guys in the next one.